hear lots of dinging. Okay. All right. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? How about now? Can you hear me now? Let me see. I'm having some audio problems, obviously. If you can't hear me, you can't hear me. Okay, now we're all good. Finally, we're all good. Wow. Sometimes, So last week, I was talking to myself for 3 minutes because I never hit the live button, and then now I went through the first 6 or 8 minutes here, and one of these days I'll just get it right. One of these days. So I went and introduced all those characters and all those things and went through the whole rigmarole. But now obviously you see that the fifth character that has influenced Alpha Red is James Bond, and as I was saying that you didn't hear, I did not. He did not influence the look of Alpha Red like some of the other characters. Cyclops and Deadpool influenced the look of him, and then Spider-Man, Peter Parker, really influenced who Wes is underneath the mask, and Captain America influenced his power set, Alpha Red's power set. But when it comes to the world that Alpha Red is operating in, why the world needs Alpha Red is that it's more of a world that has supervillains using giant technological things to try to destroy the world or take over the world. And so that is the world that our hero Alpha Red operates in. That's how it is like James Bond. He gets gadgets like James Bond gets from Q, and so I appreciate you guys being here. And the reason why he's mostly already drawn is because I wanted it to look good, and so the composition is hard to capture when I'm trying to speak while on camera, and then the technology stuff, as you can see, is a bit frustrating. And then let me see if I can get some things moved around here. So it'll be mostly an inking Drawstream. So obviously the James Bond that tops the James Bond list is the Sean Connery version of James Bond. So I'm pretty sure most fans of James Bond, even if Sean Connery is not your favorite James Bond, you kind of concede that he is the most popular James Bond. So we're just going to do that version of James Bond. And I don't know your experience with James Bond, but I remember coming home from church on Saturday nights, and James Bond would be on. I don't know, there would be James Bond marathons, and that's really how I was exposed to James Bond. So if you have some James Bond favorites, I'd love to hear about your favorite James Bond. I don't actually remember many of them, to be honest with you, because it's been very, very long since I've watched a James Bond movie. I probably watched them all, even the newer ones, the more recent ones. I have not seen the very latest one where they try to pass the mantle off to a lady Bond. That's all I heard about it, and I was not impressed with the James Bond previous to that, so I was gonna wait to hear what people had to say about this James Bond, and I did not hear great things about the latest one. So I did not bother to watch it. So I don't know if the franchise is dead. I don't know what they're doing with it. But nevertheless, James Bond as the way that we remembered it, the way that I remember it, way back when, late 70s, early 80s kind of James Bond is what I think of. Even though I did enjoy the Pierce Brosnan? James Bond. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed even the Russell Craig one, these recent ones. I didn't mind them so much. The first one's the Royale, something Royale. I remember that. That was a pretty good one. That first one coming back, and then they kind of dissipated as far as quality, as far as I was concerned. So, yep. So that is my love-hate for the franchise. Obviously, there was womanizing and stuff, and as I live out my faith a little bit more, I try not to watch too many things that include womanizing and stuff. I understand that it's all part of the broken world that we live in, but I don't seek it out, and it's got to have a lot of good word of mouth for me to put up with some of the stuff that I'd rather not see. So what do you guys think of the likeness here? I'm usually not very good with the likenesses, but I don't think this has turned out too bad. So is anybody with me? Just chime in and say, I like the likeness, or I don't like the likeness. So that is something that I don't feel is my strong suit, the likenesses. So for it to come out this good, I'm pretty happy with it. The way that I remember it. And there were a couple of pictures of Sean Connery, James Bond, and the one that I was drawn to, he was wearing a white tuxedo with a black bow tie and a red flower thingy. So that is how I am going to draw my version of James Bond. And so I put it out there on Facebook to see if anybody had a guess as to what the final character, who the final character was that influenced Alpha Red. And there was a fan of Alpha Red who was able to guess who the final character was. And I'm super impressed because he's only 12. And he must have heard the pitch. I don't know if his mom let him watch some of the Drawstreams. And Alice, is it Alice? My brain escapes me whenever I get on a live stream here. I believe his mom's name is Alice. Begins with an A for sure. And I was going to look it up here. But she said that he guessed it. And so I sent him a downloadable version of April. Sorry, April. April told me that her son guessed it. And I'm super impressed. He must have heard my pitch or watched one of my videos where I have shared either my pitch or shared part of the cover where I have kind of hinted at the outline of a James Bond, this James Bond outline here. So once we'll probably have time to actually marker this up. after we get the inks here done, we'll give a little bit of time for it to dry. And I've got some other sketch covers and things that are sitting here that we'll work on for 5 minutes or so to wait for the ink to dry so I can erase the ink lines here and really allow it to dry so I don't smear the inks while they're still wet. So I hope you guys are having a great weekend. Let me jump back over here. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. I had a fantastic weekend. It turned out I had a work thing, and work things are just never something that I look forward to. A convention, and but that turned out pretty nice. It was very laid back. I thought it was going to be a little bit more tense, but everyone was very appreciative of me being there and my company and all the work that we do. So, excuse me. I'm super impressed. You must have heard my pitch or watched one of my videos where I don't generally talk a whole lot, so I am my throat is easily dry, I think. So there's not much to the old tuxedo. Here. Just put some buttons over there. Come in with some thicker markers here. Kind of add some weight to the colors. I mean the lines. So can you hear the theme music in your brain as I'm drawing it? Doom 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 doom. So I can't help myself. So you guys have to save me if you're in here and you're watching. You gotta save me from the theme song because it just goes and goes and goes in my brain here. But you guys are having a great weekend. I'm pretty happy about how this is turning out here. Just because the likeness is coming along pretty good. And if you're just joining me, you missed out on me not having the audio working for about the first 6 or 7 minutes. So I won't be surprised if this video doesn't get a whole lot of views because whoopsie. Okay, turn off the watching myself. Okay, let's turn that off. Let me see. My assistant from the other room is telling me I have an echo, so I don't. Let me see. Is it better now? I wasn't really watching myself, but I guess I did have it on. Elsewhere. Yes. Turn the ringer off. Yes, ma'am. All right, the ringer is off. No, I just hope it in this likeness. I'm pretty happy with the likeness here. But I'll continue to noodle with it, and I'll probably ruin it, as I often do. So hopefully, as you guys come into this on the rerun, you will give me some grace as far as the technical difficulties that I tend to have on every stream, because as soon as I think that I've got it all figured out, it just seems like one major blunder after another. So I appreciate all of you guys who are watching now or watching later. It really does encourage me to continue to share the journey here of creating Alpha Red and creating just some content that is safe for young people to be able to be inspired by. So you can share this with the young artist in your house, your young comic book creator who is looking to come up with their own stories and their own artwork. So we are almost ready for some gray tones. Let me see if I'm brave enough to cast some light down here with the inks. I think that's too much of a commitment for me. I don't think. All right. So I don't think I have to wait very long to erase. So I'm just going to go ahead and erase, just because the marker that I used just now was more like a Sharpie, and the Sharpie type ink does not bleed very much. So fingers crossed here that I don't smear any of the line work. So yep, we're looking good. We're looking good. So hopefully the likeness is as good as I think it is, and you can tell who this is. Looks like I've forgotten his collar here. Forgot to ink the collar, and I think that's good. That'd be good. So I'm not just gonna do gray tones, because I want to put it in keeping with the other covers that were full color. So I'm gonna break out the skin tones here. Got this light walnut, which is a light tan. I got this guy, which is a light walnut. Light walnut is probably one of my favorites for skin tone, Caucasian skin tone. Oop, sorry about that. Light peach is my go-to for just untinted Caucasian skin. What people skin. What else do I have for skin? I have another light walnut. Light walnut is pretty dark, so I typically don't go too far with that. So let's go with this light peach first, and we'll go in and see if I can't whoa. Markers are attacking me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put in a coat here of skin tone with the lighting coming from the top. So it's gonna have a lot of whiteness as a highlight, and every picture that I see of Sean Connery, he's pretty tan. I don't know if that's natural or if he spends a lot of time outside, but he's got a good base on him. every picture of him that I see. It's pretty good base on him. So, anybody have a favorite James Bond movie? Do you have a favorite James Bond actor? If you're just joining me, I just happen to think that Sean Connery is universally the accepted top James Bond. I love that you're providing appropriate content. Too much talent is wasted on the easy wins, sex and violence. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Let me see. First Nicks. Thank you, First Nicks. It is something intentional, I think. I feel like there's just not enough for our kids to enjoy and to be inspired by. So I feel like it's a niche that I can easily fill, because that is a priority in my house, to make sure that my kids aren't filling their entertainment space, their brain space, with bad stuff. And it's a harder and harder thing to find these days. Is just content that you can trust. So it is intentional for me to partner with parents, because I'm a parent, and I just want kids to be inspired like I was inspired growing up. To be honest, some of the stuff that I had access to is probably not very appropriate either. And that would be easy for me to just say, people will find what they'll find and whatever, but I want to be more intentional about the things that I create. So, because it was a very white tuxedo, most of it will be gray tones. But I want to finish up the shadowing on his face. I wish I could pull up a picture of. Can I do that? Can I pull that up? My keyboard is trapped behind the thing here. Let's see. I'd love to make it look more like Sean Connery. James Bond Connery. Just want some images. There we go. Let's see if we can't keep it looking like Mr. Connery here. I like this picture there. And the face and likenesses, it's really hard to get just because a lot of it is shadows and it's hard to do. Because as soon as you start doing too many lines, it gets to be, they start looking too old. I don't know how some of these guys do it. Just a couple of strokes with the pen and boom, looks just like the person. That has not been something that I've been able to do. So, jump over here. Boom, boom. So yeah, Sean Connery has always just been a a classy character. Maybe I'm misremembering. I did not become critical with my entertainment until fairly recently, when it felt like all the entertainment has become bad. So who knows? Maybe if I went back and watched a lot of his movies, they will not be as appropriate as I remember them to be. I don't know if you can see this little red spider that's crawling on the thing. I hate that because you go to squish them and they just make a mark on your artwork. So he shall live. He shall live because he's crawling across the white canvas. The white. Oh, you wait until you get into this red area here, buddy. You're toast. Come on. Got him. So, yeah. Now, the picture that I pulled up of James Bond, there was a cool picture of him in a black tuxedo with a red thing on his lapel. And so that is why I drew that there like that. And let's get these colors out of the way. Boom. And then we go with the grays because it's almost a cream color, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. So this side is this. Yeah, this might do it. This might be just the ticket here. Just very subtle. A subtle shadow. And that's really all I'm looking for. Of course, underneath here, it's going to create more shadow here. Ooh, yeah, don't touch that. Don't touch that color there, boy. That pulled it right out of there. I'm gonna probably go under here a little bit harder. Gonna see if I can get a harder contrast, because that's really what our eye picks up on and tells us that it's real. There's more contrasting shadows in real life than you might think. So that is the first round of shadows, and I go from like a gradient of like 10% gray, so 10% cool. If you're using Copics, it's C1, and then it goes to C2, C3. And so I like to jump over the evens just because it's hard to tell. I've had C2s or 20% grays, and you can hardly tell. I just feel like it's a waste of time. So whenever I use the grays, I'm jumping from a 1 to a 3 to a 5 to a 7 to a 9, so that you can actually tell that I'm using a different shade. Got another 20 minutes. This bad boy can be definitely done in the next 5 minutes actually, and then we can try some other things, because I actually am anxious to dig into this spawn cover that I've been staring at. I threw down the layouts for it, and it just worked out, and it looks good. I just have not had the excuse to jump into it. So I think we might be pretty done here. Let me take another look at Sean Connery's face and see if I can't make it look any more like Sean Connery. I just don't know how to do it. Don't know what I'm doing wrong. I mean, I'm looking at it. He's got it's pretty dark down here. Hopefully I didn't just mess that up. It always feels like that, but I'm just not gonna mess with that. We're gonna color in the gun, and I think that might be it. Oh, I forgot his hair. I have not done the man's hair. Gotta get that dark brown hair in there. Dark brown hair, get that light out of here. And here's light brown. We got a light brown. I wonder when they started using a toupee for Sean Connery's hair. That hairline started off way, way far back, even from the very beginning. It was, it seemed pretty thin up top. So, let's see if I can get it even darker, because it is pretty dark. And I want to just keep at the bottom of it, just to give it the look of some shape. And you do that by allowing that highlight right in the middle. That line right in the middle. I don't know if you can see it, but there it is. And I'll have to sit on it. I'll have to noodle with it probably a little bit more till I can get the likeness that I prefer. And nope, too much. And good. It's gonna make this gun almost all the way black, because even in the pictures that I see, I can't even see any details. You know, they're old cameras and they're old pictures of him, but that is what I'm gonna do. That is what I'm gonna do. I do apologize for anybody who watched the first couple minutes of it, of this video, where I had no audio. So if you made it this far, I really appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, let's pull out that spawn. Where's spawn? I know I had it close by. I had it close by. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. Maybe it's not meant to be. What in the world? Not meant to be? No spawn for you and me? I swear, friends. I swear, it was right here. I knew it was close by. Dun, 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 dun. So here's the spawn. We're just gonna stew. We're just gonna let this James Bond kind of sit, and I'll figure that out. But who's ready for some spawn? So I recently came across, not recently, it was March. Recently came across this Spawn #1 sketch cover, and I was excited because I just remember the energy around the Image guys and all the things that they did. So I was excited to kind of have the opportunity to do a sketch cover of Spawn on Spawn #1. That's awesome to me. And I think this pencil sketch came out pretty good. I don't know what you think, but I'm gonna. Oh, I almost lost it here. So what I'm using, his collar is gonna go. It gets kind of wily. So I'm going to just white out some of the area here so that it looks like his collar goes right over top of that part of the eye, the Image eye. I thought I had a different whiteout pen here, something that worked just a little bit better. I don't seem to be able to find it, so I'm just gonna have to go with this guy here. So, but yeah, as I was reading through this comic after I got it again, I give away all my well, I didn't give away. I sold all my comics for like a song and a dance, really. So I don't have a lot of my old comics anymore. And so it's always nice to go back and see if the comics that you remember so fondly were actually as cool as you thought they were. And in this case, it was not. It was not as, it was. It was fine. It was fine. It did its job. It sold millions, or at least 1 million comics, which is extremely hard, I would imagine. So, yeah, we're just going to go right in with the inks here. I don't even know if I scanned this in as pencils, but man, I hope I did, because I'm going to just go to town here on the inks, and we are going to end in 10 minutes, just to respect my wife's wishes. My daughter is home, so I definitely want to spend some time with her before she goes to bed. And so I will end on time, but I am happy to have this excuse to draw this Spawn sketch cover that I've been staring at for a while. Hey, what's going on, Ray? What's going on? How did your podcast go? Tell me how your podcast went. Who was it, and how can I go and take a listen? Would love it. Would love it. I'm sure you did fantastic. I've seen you on some stuff. Whenever you were at the one convention, you were on stage. Bro, you were on stage answering questions. That's awesome. I don't remember which convention you were at. I want to say somewhere out in California, but I don't know that for sure. Don't know that for sure. But I'm glad that you were able to jump in here and check it out for a second. Yeah, so Spawn is not the fifth character that influenced Alpha Red, if you're just tuning in. No, I just asked you where the podcast was that you were on today and how I can look for it and watch. Hey, that's important, man. That is important. Do not get between a man and his quest to fill his belly. That is for sure. My wife knows. I mean, I don't mean to be hangry. I don't mean to get hangry. But my blood sugar drops or something. That's what she says. I don't know all the biology behind it. I just know that when I get hungry, I get hungry. It's coming out. Oh, okay. I get you. I guess I'm just used to these online YouTube. I guess they're not podcasts. They're, what do they call them? What kind of cast is it? Some kind of cast. But yeah, Spawn has just this memory, the memories of Spawn and the Image guys and what they were doing in the early and mid 90s were just kind of so inspirational. And that inspiration is being felt even to this day. I think even with me doing Alpha Red and things like that, never would have been able to imagine doing that if Image did not happen. I know that there were other independent comic book companies that started, and they were not the only new game in town, but the way that they inspired so many people, and they hired so many people, they introduced comic book creators at large, the comic book fandom at large, to new talent. All those Image guys were fighting for the best talent, and every great artist seemed to want to work for Image. I don't know if they paid better than Marvel and DC, but eventually Marvel and DC got a handle on paying new talent enough to pull them away from Image, even after Image gave them their start. Live stream, there you go. Some kind of cast, some kind of stream, some kind of live stream. You got it. Been working on dialoguing the pages. Heck yeah! I gotta send you the new pages. I did finish page 5. I am working page 6 right now, and good stuff, man. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have somebody to join me on the ride, because man, it's fun to create, but it's more fun when you're sharing the experience and the journey. So 4 minutes, I'm gonna call it quits. Tomorrow morning I'm going to have a video on a mini comic. So if you're just joining me, like you, Ray, I am going to be dropping a video just because I found a video about a mini comic, and I was like, that'd be kind of cool if I could give out like a little sample of Alpha Red. And so I created a little mini comic that's like an arts and craft kind of thing you can download the file and just print it out, and you can fold it up and you can have your own little Alpha Red mini comic. So look for that tomorrow morning. I just have to upload it. I edited it this afternoon, so it is all ready to go. Just something fun. Just something fun. And you'll be able to download it if you go to my Patreon and sign up for free. And then I email you the link, and you can have this cool little mini comic. It's like arts and crafts. Very, very fun. Coming down to the wire here, about 2.5 minutes or so, and I'm gonna call her quits, because my daughter is not only home to visit, and I want to spend a little bit of time with her, but she's actually staying in this guest room that I call my office. So she's going to want to get to bed here soon. And so I want to thank you, Ray, for stopping over and sharing a little bit of time with me here on a Sunday night. And I'm excited for you, man. I'm excited to read your what's it, Next Gen? Is that what you did for Grok Comics? Is that called Next Gen? And it looks like it's right up your alley. So exciting stuff. So if you haven't seen it, this is as we wind down here. And I'm really excited about this. But the reason why I did the Drawstream was to share the final character that helped influence Alpha Red, and that was Mr. James Bond. Last Gen, that's it. So James Bond was the final influence, if you didn't catch the very beginning of it. And he didn't influence Alpha Red so much as in his look, obviously, or his power set, but the world that he operates in and the villains that he will fight are more of the Bond villain type of bad guys who are trying to take over the world or trying to destroy the world using some kind of technology, and he kind of stops them. He's the one who has to rise to the occasion. So he's not a street level hero, he's like a global kind of hero, and a lot of that was influenced by the stories that I used to watch with James Bond. So, all right, guys, thank you for hanging out with me, Ray. I appreciate you popping in here and hanging out with me on this. And if you're catching this on the repeat, I appreciate you popping in and looking past all those audio problems I had in the beginning. And I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and that'll help it to get out to more people. Like the video, share it with your friends. It's growing slowly, and I love it, and I'm so grateful for you and for everybody who's watching it and sharing it and subscribing. So until next time, I swear I'll get a haircut. I know you're just staring at my hair because it's so big, but next time, I promise you, when you come back, the hair will be shorter. And if that brings you back, all the better. So thank you so much again. Grace and peace.